Hello. Today I want to take some time and review a couple things, as many of you are missing the same issues, things like average, min, and max and totals, and especially inserting charts along with cell styles. So I want to make sure everybody's on the same page before we take the tests here later in the week. As you can see by the spreadsheet, I have actually put in some numbers and some titles and subtitles. You'll see the title and subtitle. The title of Wilmington Students has already been centered and merged along with the subtitle Fast Food Likes. Obviously, obviously these numbers are just numbers I put in, doesn't really mean anything. So let's get started here. First and foremost, let's figure out the totals here. And I'm going to start with cell F4. So I am finding the total of freshmen. So basically I select the cell F4 to make it my active cell. I go up to the right here to my auto sum button. I click on that. It suggests a range of B4 to E4, which is the exact range I want. I hit enter, and lo and behold, it gives me 107. I then reselect it, and I go down to my fill handle here in the lower right hand corner of the active cell, put my cursor on it, it becomes a black plus sign. I click, hold, and drag down so it automatically sums up all the rows for me. You'll notice the cell F8 has 0 in it. It's because there's no numbers there yet. That will populate as I do other things. Alright, so that's a total there. Now let's find the total for Burger King. All I have to do is click on cell B8, make that the active cell, and do the exact same thing. I hit the auto sum button, and it comes down B4 to B7, so I want to make sure B4 all the way down to B7 is perfect. I hit enter, gives me 96. You'll also see that 96 now shows up in the 0, or where the 0 was in cell F8. I reselect cell B8, go to my fill handle, and drag across for 419 for the total. Many of you forget to do the total or this total here in cell F8. Make sure you get that done. A lot of times that might be the only number I look at when I'm grading things, because if this number isn't right, then something else is wrong. So make sure this number is right. In addition, make sure you are using the sum function to figure out totals. If you are just typing in numbers, you will get points taken off for not using the sum function. Okay, so there we have it. How to, or a little review on how to do summing. Now, next thing is averages. Some of you have asked me a couple times about how to do averages, or have expressed not knowing how to do it. So let's do the average of Burger King here. So we're going to click in cell B10, and we're going to use the auto sum again, but we're going to use the little arrow next to it. Click the drop down menu. One of the options says average. We'll click average, and it will give me a selection or a assumption that I want to average cell B4 to B9. Well, I want to make sure I do not include this total here, because I don't want to average a total. It will throw everything out of whack. So I want to reselect cell B4 to B7. Then I hit enter, and it gives me an average of 24. Pretty easy. It's kind of like summing, but it's using an average function instead of the sum function. Min is the same thing. I select cell B11, min being the minimum number. I click the drop down menu for auto sum. I find MIN. Now this, it will give me a suggestion of just a cell above it. Obviously, again, I want to select B4 to B7. I hit enter, and it gives me 13, which is the min number in that range. And then max, again, do the same thing. Click the drop down menu, select max, verify my range. It suggests the range right above it. Obviously, I want B4 to B7, so I select that and hit enter. And it gives me 33 for the max number. Now, to figure out the rest of the columns, I select the range B10 to B12, go to my fill handle, and drag across. And it gives me everything I need. My averages, my mins, and my maxes for that range. And that's it for average, min, and max. It's pretty easy to do. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, please ask me before the test on Wednesday and Thursday. I want to see you guys do well on this test. All right, next thing is charting. Charting is pretty easy. Many of you forget to include things in the range when you're selecting a chart. First chart I'm going to do is a column chart. When you're selecting a column chart or selecting data for a column chart, you need to make sure you select the row headings here, which is Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell, along with the column headings, or excuse me, row headings and column headings, which is freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. So I would select, in this case, cell A3, selecting the range A3 all the way to E7. A3 to E7. You notice how I do not have the totals selected, all right, because that will throw the chart out of whack because these numbers are so big, while these numbers are so small. So once I have that range selected, you go to Insert, and I'm going to do a column chart. Let's do a cone chart just for something different. Select cone, and lo and behold, there is my chart. I have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors here, and BK, McDonald's, KFC, and Taco Bell along the bottom. Now, what a lot of you do, and I'm going to hit delete to get it out of there, what many of you do is you might do something like this, and you do not select the column headings of BK, McDonald's, and KFC. So now I go Insert Column, I select the same chart, but now this turns into where it says Series. You forgot to add the Burger King, McDonald's up here. All right, you need to make sure you add that to get the wanted result. Okay, so please make sure, and you see what happened when I added total there? I mistakenly, trying to do this too fast, added total, and you will see how total throws everything out of whack. These numbers are so big, and the actual numbers that I want to see in the chart are really small. So make sure you do not add total, but make sure you add column and row headings. Same thing with the pie chart. We're going to do a pie chart of, let's see, we'll just do the totals. Okay, so I'm going to select A3 down to A7 because that's what I want. I just want to get these guys in there. Then I'm going to hold down my control key. I'm going to go to my total and select F3 down to F7. So it'll just give me those total numbers. Again, I don't want this total. Click Insert, click Pie. We'll do a 3D pie chart, and that'll give me the total for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors and seniors. Okay. Now in this case, I did do a total because that's the only information I wanted. I did not want any of the individual information. I just wanted total. Okay, that's why I was able to do total in this chart. All right, that is how to do a column chart and a pie chart. Again, if you have any questions, please ask. If you're asked on the exam to move the chart, once it's inserted, you'll get this ribbon up, and over on the right hand side it'll say Move Chart. You click on that and it'll say New Sheet or Object In. You just click New Sheet, click OK. It'll automatically move to this total sheet or Chart 1 sheet. And then to click back to your data sheet, you just click Sheet 1 and you're back to it. Okay, that's about it for charts. Again, they're pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You just need to select the right information. Last thing I want to make sure you guys know how to do is cell styles. So let's say total style. We're going to do A8 to F8. Go over to cell styles, and we're going to put the total style on there. And that's all there is to cell styles. Many of you guys have neglected to do this. I'm not sure why. Row 3, we're going to do, let's do heading 3. All right, and then for the titles, we'll just do a regular title there. Okay, so it dresses it up a little bit. All right, and I could go on, but I think you guys get the idea of selecting a range you want to format, clicking cell styles, and then selecting what you want. Okay, and that's about it for the review. Like I said, it's just a quick review to remind you guys of a few things that many of you guys are doing wrong. So I covered how to do summing or totals, how to do average, min, and max, how to do a column chart, how to do a pie chart, and cell styles. All right, make sure you are reading the notes on the home page. I'll also cover a couple other things on there, or basically topics you need to know. And that's about it from here. Again, if you have any questions, please, please, please ask. I'd rather you ask now than not know and get it wrong on the test. Thanks. Have a great